So I want to talk, and I want to just keep it real, because I've been outside and I'm losing faith in what I'm doing. Um, I feel like I'm completely failing at this, and I'm starting to question whether or not I want to keep going to even attempt anything. This past week, I planted out sunflower seedlings, transplants that were started inside. They grow extremely quick. I do this because of pest problems and because of birds. And the seedlings I transplanted, which was 3 trays worth, all of them have died due to transplant shock. I threw some seeds down in a space that I had carved out for sunflowers for branching varieties. I have yet to see any growth come on those. And this afternoon, what killed me is that I water in the morning, I water in the evening, and that bed is bone dry this afternoon. And so I'm struggling because I don't want a bunch of irrigation lines all over. I have enough in the back main bed that I'm dealing with to have them run all over my yard. And I think what is frustrating me is that, one, I put a lot of faith in sunflowers and some of the varieties I'm growing because of the heat tolerance, and that they are noted for being heat-loving types of flowers. And they are the quintessential, easy peasy, you can do it plants. And I'm not getting that result. And that's frustrating because I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of my energy and a lot of my mind and mental space trying to figure this out. And the climate is kicking my butt. And I'm not certain if it's going to work out here if I can't get something as simple as a sunflower to germinate outside, or to even get a seedling to thrive. And so I'm really kicking my butt right now. And it's not just the sunflowers. I have snapdragons that have been planted out all through late winter, and some of them look okay. Others just look beat to hell. The ones that I just transplanted are just drooping like mad. And I don't know if it's overwatering, if it's underwatering, if it's the heat. I don't know. I'm struggling. I put shade cloth over a couple areas of hoops that I have put out, which that is an in progress thing until I can get the entire space done. I'm doing that a little bit at a time, and I don't know if that is going to help or not. We'll see. But I had to make this just to keep it real with everyone, because I don't know what I'm doing out here. There's not very many, if anybody out here, that I can easily just go to and talk to about it, because there's no other flower farms in this county that I'm aware of. So, and I can't just go to the neighboring city because they're in a completely different zone than I. And so it's frustrating. And I don't know at this point how to feel about this whole thing. Which is why I wanted to document this. And maybe everything will be okay. But I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies, y'all. I have a whole room of seedlings that are going to be going out here soon, within a matter of a couple weeks. And if they all fail, I won't have anything at that point. Might as well just convert everything into produce and just hang my hat up. I really did not think it was going to be this freaking hard to just grow some damn flowers, y'all. Like, and I'm not so naive to just think I'll just throw and sprinkle them all over and it all is good. I knew there was the process of starting. I knew there was the process of babying them along as seedlings, but just the planting outside, if I can't grow anything outside, I can grow them great inside. They're doing awesome in my grow room, but I don't have a house. My whole house can't be full of grow lights and flowers. So what do you do when your outside is so freaking uninhabitable that you can't even grow flowers? So I guess I'll have this pity party for myself. Maybe I'll look back on this and laugh at some point, but it's frustrating. It is just kind of soul crushing, if I'm being honest, but I need to put this out here. I need to be truthful, and I need to share my struggles, and so this is one of them. Well, my honeywort is a little, well, it was not unscathed today by the high winds that we had in the area. These were sitting on my front porch just to kind of harden off and get them ready to go. And they've been out there for probably a couple weeks now. And unfortunately, the high winds today with these gusts and downbursts of 50 miles per hour have pretty much taken these guys out. As you can see, they are not happy. They're drooping. And these guys got completely blown out of their bottom container. I have yet to find it. I think it's in the yard somewhere. That's how insane the winds were. It actually blew soil out of this one. So pretty crazy. So anyways, I'm going to at least try to attempt to save some of these and plant them deeper down into some of these little extra pots I have lying around in hopes to see if I can save a few of these. I was about ready to plant these out, but to be honest, seeing the winds and seeing that we had some lows in the mid to upper 30s, I was being a little extra cautious. So I guess this is just my excuse to go ahead and get them repotted, and hopefully they make it through to our planting. Alright, so I got pretty much all that I could get from planting. I'm pretty certain this specific tray that lost its bottom must have flipped, because I'm looking at the stem on this one and it's kind of snapped in the middle. And some of these other ones looks like they're almost snapped at the base of their roots. So that's kind of telling me that it went through some pretty traumatic stuff. So I have a little over half of what my planting was going to be. So I'm definitely gonna have to start some more and get those started very quickly. Thankfully, honeywort does grow fairly quickly, but it is total shame, but it's just the realities of the harsh climate that we just have to deal with here. So I'm really not joking when I say I don't have any room. I am filled to the brim, and those honeywort had to be placed just wherever I could find, whatever nook and cranny was available under my grow light space. And I have very little at this point. And again, this is why when flower farmers are starting seeds, They really have to consider the space they have, and that's why everything is kind of timed out in different time spans, because if not, you just don't have the space to put the seedlings under your available lighting. And also, seedlings take different times to grow and get established. The wind took out our compost bin door. That's how crazy the winds were today. Things are just kind of strewn about. It looks like my netting and shade cloth back there may have gotten ripped off the clips that were on it. But that, thankfully, is all. So last night we got 30 degrees just out of nowhere. And so I'm gonna go outside and take a look and see what made it and what didn't. I don't have a whole lot planted out yet, but I do have some things that are very tender when it comes to temperature. So let's go take a look and see what made it and what might be struggling. These guys are not happy. The leaves are very tender, and you can tell they've started curling in, so I hope these did not get completely frost damaged. We didn't really have a frost or freeze, but it got cold enough that it wouldn't surprise me. Peppers seem to be doing okay. These are those repotted honeyworts. Those are doing all right. These snapdragons are always struggling, so I'm not shocked by those. Looks like maybe one of my echinaceas are not doing too well. You want to come outside? Just now starting to see some of these sunflowers I seed directed coming in. So that's exciting. These were all transplant seedlings planted when they only had maybe one set of leaves, but they've actually adapted better than the couple-week transplants. Something's been munching on those. Probably a bird if I had to guess. I was pretty worried about these eucalyptus, even though a lot of them have actually settled. Their collar's still not great, but looks like they hung in there, so that's good. Maybe just a little bit with that discoloration. A little bit of the coldness got to them. Rudbeckia is still hanging in there for most part. There's a couple that don't look amazing, but for most part, a lot more of these are hanging in than what I thought I was going to get, so that's good to see. Snaps under the shade cloth. They actually don't look like they're doing that great compared to the ones that are on the outside. These might be chantillies though, I don't know. I think the ones I'm having the better success with as far as robustness is probably the Rocket variety, maybe the Potomac. As you can see, these look a little bit better. My chantillies were just a little frail when it came to stems. In these mini beds, I have, let's see, I believe this is honeydew melon that was just transplanted out. So far they've been okay. Kind of surprised, honestly, with the wind and the cold snap we just had. Over here is cucumber, and they don't typically like being transplanted, so I've got one that looks like it might do okay. Maybe one of those. But some of these look like they're definitely not going to make it. And where's he at? Yeah, that one is definitely a no. So they typically don't like being transplanted because of disturbance to their root system. So I went ahead and tried some inside. Worst case, I can just direct seed, not a big deal. Paul has corn in these 2 beds. He just did a full seeding of Martian Jewels, which is a nice corn that can be eaten as a sweet corn variety, or you can leave it on to then use it as a dried flour milling type of corn. So we'll see how those go. Did get some irrigation run. It's not finalized though. Need to get some more mainline tubing in order to make certain the pressure is a little bit more sufficient. Very tiny planting of onions. Still got probably a month or 2 to go. Some calendula still hanging in there. These varieties are really pretty. I think this is the Orange King variety, but when they fully open in the sun, they're just so big and vibrant blooms. The celery has been in the ground since December. I don't know if I'm going to get anything off of it. This is a transplant from a local nursery. I've got some leeks, and they're probably honestly going to get pulled before I get anything out of them, just because I have to make room for the summer stuff coming in. Here is the seed room today. So we have straw flower status. The Cosmos went crazy, especially the Ravenza, but they're starting to get those classic Cosmo leaves coming in, which is exciting. So these guys probably won't have much longer before they need to go out. Cosmos Xanthos. Got mimosa trees back there. One of these isn't doing too hot. Probably just need to pull some of these seedlings out and start repotting them. Gomphrina's looking good. More Gomphrina down here. The Celosia has been kind of back and forth. So I think at one point I was overwatering it, and so I had some seedlings that were dying off because of that. So I laid back on the watering. I actually started top watering everything, and I'm starting to see just a little bit of improvement, but I don't think I'm going to get everything that I planted. It's still struggling. It still doesn't look very strong, so we shall see. I'm not too upset by it. I do have a lot of amaranth, which is, no, it's not celosia, but it is similar in the style that I'm looking for cut arrangements. This is just a tray of sunflowers of Pro Cut Mix, all different varieties in here. I just stopped labeling because when I was planting outside, it didn't matter anyways. Where I had gaps, I was just filling them in. So at this point, I'm not going to be upset if nothing's uniform. This next rack is mostly Scabiosa, which is also looking good. Starting to get some true sets of leaves coming in, which is good to see. These have, I think, 2 or 3 more weeks before they need to get out, so we'll see if they make that mark or not. Marigolds are looking good. They came up very quick. I'm pretty certain that's a sunflower that has made its home in there. More dahlias I'm trying out. Gonna put them in a slightly shaded spot in my yard to see if they will come out. Sea hollies still doing okay. Those are more sea hollies that were repotted. And those are zinnias over there that were started in smaller trays. Feverfew is still hanging in there. It's always just a slow grower. Down on the bottom is a mix. So I've got basil, all my varieties of basil coming in. So again, these were getting a little overwatered, I think, so I laid off. Bee balm has been hit or miss. Some of them are coming in, some of them just aren't doing much of anything. So I have been trying to do sweet potato slips for a while. I can't get these to go. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. These have been literally sitting in a jar of water for weeks now, And that one was how it came out of the bag. And that's why I picked it, because I figured, okay, it's already starting to sprout, so it's ready to do something. But I can't figure it out. So, no idea. Eucalyptus. Looks like I have, these are sunflower varieties going in. These are my branching varieties that I've started from seed in here. I direct sowed some outside, and I've got mixed going on with that out there. So some, I've got only maybe a handful coming through. So that's why I wanted to start some inside from seed. That way, just in case, I could transplant some out and fill some holes. Back there is all my zinnia varieties. Great germination from everything except the Queen Lime series, so a little surprised by that. That's usually a series that everybody loves, but not so great for me. These are some repotted snapdragons I put into new pots yesterday just to try to get them a little bit more growth. They were getting a little root bound in the cell planters. And those again are just some sunflower varieties, branching varieties that I've got started. Onto my planter wall, these are everything that has a black check mark is stuff that I have been able to sow directly outside and get it started. So all of my amaranth actually went out today, since I figure we were past now that threat of any more frost. I did sow Persian cress today. You saw my eucalyptus, it's already out there and thriving. Everything else though is just waiting. It's all either inside here waiting to get big enough, or it is stuff I just have not started yet, but most of this is in here. It's in seedling trays. It just has to get big enough to be put out so it doesn't just die of transplant shock, and also has to be hardened off, so that's going to take a minute. These were signifying for my bulb bed that I have out there. The freesias are coming up, which are exciting. I've seen quite a few of those coming through. The alliums are literally just sprouting mushrooms. So I'm not certain if I got some really bad bulbs or what. They were on sale, so I'm not gonna like cry about it. I literally picked up like 8 bulbs for $2. So if they don't make it, they don't make it, whatever. And so yeah, so that is the update for now, and hopefully next time I talk to you there will be a lot more going actually out into the rows.